Stay early.
No. We're good.
Tommy, John said he'll be right back.
Oh, no.
Passing it on.
Who they went with.
Go get your notebook?
Yeah.
Go get your
Oh,
notebook.
I know, they spoke. They said, but they.
Mike, you wanna go get some
They
candy?
like it a
No.
lot. They said to have
Sydney wants new coffee.
before,
What are you getting for lunch, Dad? Did you bring lunch?
No, I had no leftovers.
They're saying that's a commitment.
Hold on. This wasn't on the agenda that we just reviewed.
Oh, Tommy John.
How are you? I'm a big fan of the leftovers, Bill.
I love
Lasagna.
leftovers.
Hey, you just want to do it there?
Especially lasagna.
Yeah. Something about it.
It gets better in age.
Fusing.
After 3 days, but then you don't. I guess we can start.
No.
Oh, yeah, it's a public portion. Hey.
I thought we don't have.
Yeah, what do you understand?
Portion? Ask Tommy.
Are we supposed to have a portion of work session?
No, not a work session. We could if we wanted to.
Because it says it.
You need a few minutes?
Okay, well,
2 seconds.
I don't know, just in case.
Thank you.
What's Kevin doing?
We got to start the Zoom for the Water Commissioners meeting because there's public portion.
right, there's public portion for the commissioners meeting.
And then we'll close it and stop the Zoom
Oh, I
and then
understand.
No, they're two different
reopen a work
meetings.
session.
Public portion before,
It's, yeah, before we,
not on the,
Recording in progress.
we do it before and after, right? Or not?
we usually just do it at the
No,
beginning,
just
right?
just the meeting on the water commissioners, not on the.
Work session.
No, but I mean, do we do it after the water commissioners? I feel like there was something where we did a public portion before and after.
No,
Thought
we
we
just
did
do
it
it.
before.
Well, we
before.
could if we wanted to. It's on our,
Why is it on the agenda? I mean, you could do it any way you want.
It's on first.
Oh, it's, uh-huh.
Might want to do it after discussion part, in case people have.
Okay.
We'll do it after in case anybody
right,
has.
couple of schools of thought on that. Some
Yeah.
people like to speak first before the discussion, you know, if the items are on the agenda. I know. School board, we used to do before and after for that reason.
At school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Moore,
Present?
Councilwoman McNamara.
Present.
Councilman Iacilli.
Here.
Councilman Pell.
Here.
Councilman Skiboom.
Present.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to have our meeting of the Hampton Bays Water District Commissioners. So why don't you all come on up? We've got James Cappers, Water District Superintendent, Keith Tuttle Jr., Assistant Water District Superintendent, John Collins, Lead Engineer H2M, and Chris Weber, Engineer H2M. Welcome, everyone.
It says lead engineer, doesn't it? That's your signature, not mine.
Hopefully they give you the money that goes with it.
Right, I could put vice president up there too, but it need more names. It's fine.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Things running, ramping up
Put
for the
out some
summer.
nice FAQs
Mhm.
about the,
Super fun?
yeah, about
Yes.
the super fun. That was well done.
Yeah, very proactive approach to the situation. That's good.
people have questions, now they have the answers.
And hopefully it cut down on some of the questions.
Yeah,
Your
we
user, you had a place
got
to
one
direct them
phone
to.
call about it, and that was it.
Good.
So. So I'll just lead it off.
Yes, please.
So we're off to a slower start than years prior, which is a good thing. It's slow starting this pumpage compared to last year at this time. You know, equates to a lot of rain that we've had, so it's good. It helps us out, keeps the irrigation systems off and at bay for now. But we'll be ready to go for the summer season, for the busy season. The GAC will be up and running. We spoke about that briefly, about carbon getting reactivated and then reinstalled into our GAC system, and then we'll be ready by, should be by the first week of June, somewhere in that area. So we'll be ready to go. All the other wells are up and running to the right efficiency. All tanks are ready to go, and we're going to dig our heels in for the summertime, and hopefully our customers listen and help us out and abide by the odd and even suggestion for the sprinklers. Hopefully the rain holds out and happens at least once a week for us, because that does help us out tremendously, a little bit of Mother Nature. But all our testing is complete for the second quarter. We're in compliance with everything, with all the new regulations and such that the EPA has set forth for. I'll let John get into that a little bit deeper about the PFOA, PFOS, and then the 5 additional that they're going to be regulating with an MCL. But we'll be in compliance up until Plant 3 gets its GAC system up and running. That's in H2M's hand right now with the mapping plan and getting the bid specs and so forth of what we're actually going to do this year. And just to touch briefly on our current projects, we sent or H2M on our behalf sent our award recommendation for the Rampasture water main replacement. That's going to take place sometime this year. So that should start hitting the ground running soon. Our SCADA system upgrade, it should be going out to bid very shortly. Chris Weber was finalizing those bid specs to get that moving forward. We're working on that piece of property we discussed for additional well within the Hampton Bays Water District and Hampton Bays community. John was doing some background information on what utilities are available as far as electric and power and so forth, and getting the easement marked out and seeing if we can do the work within the easement. The work would be a test boring well to see if the water is actually potable water that would be beneficial to put a well there or not, or spend the time or find an additional property. So that's underway. And our meter replacement program is in effect since January. A lot of that money is being eaten up by the software that we're moving to for our billing software, which is Univeris. And hopefully that will be going live sometime between July and September. They give us that window. A lot of it's data conversion that Paula and IT have been working with. So that's taken a lot of time to get all the data from Govern into the Univeris system. But hopefully that'll be more beneficial to our customers, a lot of user-friendly stuff inside there where they can have customer portals, they can do online payment. We'll hopefully get a credit card machine in the office, help with credit card payments. And there's also the chat feature where we can go back, chat back and forth, send emails and text messages and so forth about their bills. So, going into the new century of billing instead of the old paper way and people getting their stuff lost in the mail, now we can send it multiple ways. So that'll be good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do we send out a reminder now that the season is upon us about the odd, even days?
Yeah, usually by the middle of this month, by Memorial Day, we just sent a letter, our water conservation letter, and then we put it on our website and so forth. So it's in the water quality report as well. They receive it then. That's in the end of this month. That will go out. And
will the water quality report review the Superfund information? Anything going out?
usually doesn't pertain to, because that really doesn't pertain to. That's more of the fire district. End.
Right.
We just are worried about our water quality. What
Right.
is what our testing results show, and so forth, and, you know, our pumpage and anything else involved. So it's more focused on the Hampton Bays Water District, not, you know, our surrounding community of the Superfund site. We just reassure our customers we're doing what we have been doing since 2018, is just making sure those compounds are removed and you're getting clean, fresh, potable water to drink. And that's just a summary. Not much has changed since we last met, but just things are moving forward as of now.
And we are coming out of the filter, the levels of PFOs, PFOA are very low, almost non-detectable.
They were non-detect.
Right.
There was some short chain acids that were breaking through, so that's why we wanted the reactivation process, to reactivate it and then start with clean, fresh carbon for the season, which will completely remove everything and be non-detect going to system.
Best water on Long Island. My statement. How about the water main at Rampasture?
Like I said, we just sent the award letter to the comptroller's office, our suggestion, and then that should hit the ground running sometime this year.
You're gonna wait till after the season to do that, or no?
There's not
Because
much.
you do it simultaneously,
Yeah.
everything stays running?
Everything stays running.
There's not much traffic impedance, because that road's really not that busy, just for,
Yeah.
you know, the morning traffic and so forth, but we're only gonna be taking up one side of the road, so traffic will still be able to flow, but
Yeah.
How long do you think that project would take, roughly?
30 to 45 days,
Okay.
depending on the contractors. It's a new contractor we've never worked with,
Mhm.
so we'll have to see how quick he is. Hopefully he moves fast, but we'll see.
Yeah, the
Right.
traffic there wasn't my concern, it's just, I know a lot of those houses are seasonal, so I figured if it was.
yeah, the
easier to
interruption, the
do-
water interruption should only be briefly when they do the tie over,
Okay,
because they're gonna lay the main, test it, and then they'll come back and then tie all the customers into the new main, so it'll be very short interruption.
okay.
Yeah, you're talking about,
And they'll be happy at the end of it, so it'll be worth the inconvenience.
yeah, we want them to see the effects, you know, immediately, come the end of July, August, so.
Okay.
We should get some signs. Rebuilding the Hampton Bays Water District. I mean, really, because that is what you're doing.
One main at a time.
Well, yeah. Once people understand what you're
So-
doing, they're a lot more tolerant
When you get money
to
from,
inconvenience.
It's true.
Mhm.
most of the time when you get money from New York State or the federal government, they make you put a big sign up that basically says, you know, thank the governor or thank the president, so.
It
I
is,
mean,
it is an election year.
It's not a horrible idea to just, we've done it before, and you
Sure.
just put it, and it's just, you know, and it's almost, you know, please
It's an
excuse the mess.
inconvenience. It'd be a good idea to let people know why. You know, and I'm sure most people do, but, you know.
We put it in the town's newsletter as well, that the project would be commencing sometime this year, so we can
Mhm.
give a, you know, at least a 30-day heads up once we know we're gonna start to, at least let that area know they're going to be.
Right.
Yeah, that is a good idea. As you
Inconvenience for a
said,
little
you know,
bit.
when people have advance warning, they're more tolerant.
Yeah.
It was like those rebuilding New York signs around the city, you know, it's like, okay.
I've been here for like 20 years.
If you want a new highway, yeah, you know, they gotta build the thing.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing.
Exactly.
You know, if you're gonna give money away, you might as well get credit for it.
Well,
Well, thank you
Okay.
for that
No problem.
summary update.
If John wants to
Um,
talk about any of the.
I'll just touch upon a few things. I just want to address Councilman Isili, right?
Yeah.
The water quality report is something we do every year. It's required by the EPA and the state, so there's strict guidelines on it.
Right.
But it's the main gist of it is there's a table in there that tells the consumer that every single compound that we tested for that was detected,
Yeah.
from iron to naturally occurring stuff to the perfluorinated.
That's great.
There's also a table in there of all the compounds we tested for that we didn't detect. And then there's just a few other things in there, like where our water comes from, some blurbs about water conservation and so on and so forth. It goes out to all the residents, but when it comes out, we can make sure everybody on the board gets a copy.
That'd be great.
Usually when I send a hard copy to
Yeah.
the board, so they can review.
And then, do you want to touch upon EPA?
Yeah.
So EPA recently, as you know, New York State has regulated two perfluorinated, PFAS and PFOA. EPA has now regulated them too, whereas New York State was 10 nanograms per liter. EPA has reduced it to 4 nanograms per liter, considerably more conservative. In addition to the PFAS, PFOA at 4, they've regulated 4 others at 10. So that's PFHXS, something called Gen X, which we don't see on Long Island. It's very prevalent in North Carolina.
PFNA?
PFNA.
BA?
BA.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, there are really long names associated with them, but we're covered at Plant 1. We have seen detections of a few of those at Plant 1, but we have filtration. It's removing those. Plant 3 we're working on, where we've seen those regulations. The other sites that we've seen low trace levels of perfluorinated, we're not in jeopardy, but we're just gonna have to keep our eye on it, and that would be Plant 5. We'll have to just keep our eye on it and make sure it doesn't increase to where it is. So those,
Well, wait, did we have to get new filters to get down to that 4 nanograms?
no, and actually, the EPA regulations, they take a while, so we have a few years to get it, we're set, we're secure now, we wouldn't change our treatment, but we have a few years to get it online, and we're ahead of the game with Plant 3, so,
Once we get that done, we'll be at non-detect.
yes. Yep. Non-detect. And then, the only other thing that I'm gonna mention is that the Rampasher Road water main did come in with the bidders under budget, so, we're good with that.
Yes.
But you also haven't worked with that contractor, so.
I haven't worked with him, but we all know his name. It's
Okay.
Asplin Construction.
Okay, okay.
He's a big tree trimmer,
Mhm.
but he also does he does a lot of utility work. His specialty is actually gas and electric, but he's been dipped into the water main world lately. He's done a few projects for Suffolk County Water Authority, and they really had no issues with him.
Good.
So, you know, the second bidder was a guy that we are more familiar with, but, you know, we're gonna go with the low bidder, just, nobody gave us a reason why he couldn't exhibit to do the work, so.
And who inspects this? Is that us?
We have a guy on site.
Okay, so we do construction manager, and
Yeah,
how
we have
about the
a
health
pipeline
department? Do
inspector,
they-
yep. And we make sure it goes in exactly like it's going in, but it's also key things like make sure shutdowns aren't too long, make sure the pipe is
Mhm.
clean when it goes in the hole, and just all
Flushed
those
out
little
properly.
nuances, things that
How about the Suffolk County Health Department? Do they inspect?
they do a final inspection. When it's all said and done, we test it, send them the results and ask them for permission to activate it, and they'll come out. It's a water main, so it's buried, there's not much for them to see.
54 inches?
48 to cover, so 48
Okay.
cover, so this is a 12-inch main, so 60 inches to the bottom. Close, a 6-inch main would be the 54. And then the county comes out, they inspect it, and they give us the approval to operate.
Thank you. Curious. Love this stuff.
I had in my notes that from our meeting earlier this year, that we were gonna this year increase the tiers by 10% for the top tier.
Yes,
know,
we
biggest
increased it by,
users.
yeah,
Did we do
10%
that?
on the third tier. So, like we said, we have 3 tiers. The first tier is, you know, the minimum bill that everybody pays up to 1,000 cubic feet of water. You know, it's a minimum bill whether you use 0 or, you know, 999. Anything over that's the second tier, and then obviously the higher tier, the third tier, is what we bumped up 10% to try to sway people from using that much water.
What's the second tier? What did you say?
The second tier, I don't know, I don't have the parameters, but it's anything over, it's from like 1,000 cubic feet to, you know, say 3,500. You know, or we're trying to stay within that normal usage of a household for, you know, 3 months, and that's on a 3-month period.
Mhm.
So anywhere from 0 to 3,500, you know, 4,500 is normal. Anything over that's kind of deemed excessive.
So anything over that, so then we increase
That's
the
when we-
rates
yeah.
to try to be deterring that type
Yeah.
of behavior.
Correct.
That's, I don't know what else we could do.
Yeah, without enforcing the law and enforcing, you know, the odd even watering days with some sort of enforcement, it's not really much
So
else we
hard
could
to
do.
try to enforce that.
Yeah.
How about public outreach? We had asked for a public meeting for this meeting, and so we're here, which is great. Perhaps in the fall, we can get an opportunity to have people from Hampton Bays, you know, talk to the water commissioners and the water district, because I think you're doing great work over there, and they should know it. You know, this water main project is just one of many.
Yeah, we did talk about
Yeah,
having the
we
meeting
did.
in Hampton Bays at the.
Yeah, I think you guys were
Senior
discussing
Center.
that, but there was some
We had waited
legalities
until the
that-
fall because we have Zoom and.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what? I
We
didn't
don't
hear.
have the Zoom capabilities for the.
we wanted to
meeting.
hold
Right,
this
we
meeting
have
at
the
night
technology here,
in
right.
Hampton Bays, but we couldn't.
Well, I think we have it now.
Yeah,
Right.
we got
We have it now. We can do it.
Yeah, fall meeting, I think, is in October.
And,
I mean,
right, are we required to have the water district meeting, commissioners meeting, you know, on Zoom?
Yes.
Public meeting, yes.
I know the town board meetings are required. I don't know if we passed the resolution for the water district meetings, and I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get
It's
people,
all
you
the
know,
public- I think it's
because we
all the
hear from the
public meetings.
community that they want this, so, okay. well,
Tom and John, I think it's anywhere where there's public portion. We were saying we could possibly do a work session in Hampton Bays that wouldn't have to have Zoom.
Mhm.
And people could come to the work session and,
Right, I remember us passing it for the town board, and, you know, I don't, so one or the other, either would work. I think it would be an opportunity, you know, with some of the, you know, we have a number of civically active people in Hampton Bays, and they would love to hear from, you know. They'd probably get up and tell you, well, you know,
Yeah.
they like what you're doing, and we
Yeah.
like what you're doing too, but, you know. So, okay, we'll look at that for the fall.
well, anybody have any other questions?
Nope.
Kevin, is there anybody on Zoom that has their hand up?
Nobody on Zoom.
That's it, a short one today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks so
very
much
much.
for coming in.
We appreciate that.
We'll let
Thanks
you
for
know
keeping the
about
water
that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks for your support.
you know, close it.
Yeah. So I move to close the.
Second.
Oh, yeah, move. Close the meeting of the Hampton Bays Water District Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are closed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your week. Enjoy
You
your
too.
Happy Mother's Day to the mothers.
Probably figure out how to get that meeting
Thank you.
on YouTube or Zoom, so it's public.
We
I couldn't
will.
do it.
I think we have it there now, maybe.
Should probably be a master at junior high.